Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
The passage is 260 meters long. The moment it opened, it was all silver-white light inside, illuminating the situation in the passage very clearly. The four walls are all mysterious patterns, and the light is coming from them. Plus anti-gravity technology. In fact, just this channel is enough to excite countless scientists. But at this moment, Yi-Bei and the mutant monkeys had no leisure to pay attention to the passage. When the second door opened, the situation inside was really shocking. The 260-meter channel is full of mutant humans, black people, yellow-skinned people, white people. There are men and women. There are even some children. But at this moment, all these human beings are all the same. Eyes are red. Inside the eyes, killing intent was boiling, and even some humans had begun to bite each other in this passage. The skin on their bodies was cracked and terrifying to the extreme. Ho ho ho. Ouch. Kill you. Golyulu. When Yi-Bei stared at these mutated humans who had been given stimulants and had evolved into semi-finished products, they also looked at Yi-Bei, and such voices kept coming from their mouths. The mutant monkeys who were waiting 5 meters behind Yi-Bei's eyes were shocked when they saw this situation. Are these all humans? It's incredible. Before, I always thought that humans would only use us for research. I didn't expect that they would treat people of their own clan so cruelly. What a terrible human being. These guys, it is absolutely the most wrong thing to be able to do everything and let the world be in human hands. Yes, that's it. It's disgusting. The mutant monkeys were just shocked, and they didn't have the slightest fear, and such comments kept coming. These voices naturally reached Yi-Bei's ears. Humans. Treat humans cruelly. These mutant monkeys understand pretty well. Especially for profit, even close relatives can betray them. They say that tiger poison does not eat children. In the human world, there is simply not too much of eating children and killing fathers. Kill. Snake, I want to eat you. Quick, come here. In the passage, mutant humans are still roaring. Wong, these humans are very strange, irrational, and very excited, as if they were injected with stimulants. Are you trying to kill them yourself? A mutant monkey couldn't help saying, I have a sense of measure. You just need to stay here well. Chi-Chi. Spitting out the scarlet letter, Yi-Bei's body grew rapidly when he was speaking. When it became 2 meters long, it stopped because the diameter is relatively thin. This body length, in the passage, will not be there. Any obstacles? Roar. After getting bigger, his tail slapped fiercely at the entrance of the passage. There was a roar in his mouth, and all the sharp fangs were exposed. The next moment, borrowing the reaction force from the tail, he rushed towards the passage fiercely. Chi-chi-chi-chi. Puff, puff. Click, click. The appearance looks terrifying and bloody, but when these mutant humans encounter Yi-Bei, they don't have any resistance at all. In the blink of an eye, the entire passage is occupied by such sounds. These mutant humans have lost their humanity. Become a failed trial. So when Yi-Bei swallowed, there was no pressure. Click. With a crisp sound, a mutated black man with a body size of more than 3 meters was directly bitten from the middle. The bright red blood, in a weightless state, formed a circular shape and suspended in it. After the white light shined, it was extremely bright. Click, click, click. Whizzing. After Yi-Bei rushed into this passage, his body turned into a black shadow. Wherever he passed, the mutant humans had no resistance at all and were swallowed in the blink of an eye. Congratulations to the host for successfully swallowing a mutant human, gaining 1 genetic evolution point and 20,000 evolution points. And as Yi-Bei swallowed each one, such a voice would immediately sound in his mind. The guy in the system constantly exploded the data, making it clear that he was bewitching Yi-Bei to devour as much as possible. Wong, so strong. Yeah, that's amazing. The most special thing is that he broke the normality of creatures. No matter how many creatures he swallows, it can be converted into energy immediately, and the stomach will not be enlarged. We also have this ability. In the back, the mutant monkeys kept their voices. They had regarded Yi-Bei as the king from the bottom of their hearts, and they had the same fear and awe of Yi-Bei's powerful ability. As for the second floor of the Institute at the moment, Tony took a large group of technicians and stared at the 3D screen. Doctor, not good. These mutant humans are powerful, but in a weightless state, they can't exert their true strength at all, and the snake's body is too strong. Obviously, some mutant humans have caught him, but they can't cause the slightest harm. A technician, his lips trembled, and his eyes were full of fear when he spoke. Everyone, didn't you find out? This python can not only grow bigger and smaller, but when it has swallowed so many mutant humans, his stomach hasn't increased at all, as if it were a bottomless black hole. This is what the most terrible. Doctor, what's next? The anti-gravity device can be cancelled, but if it is cancelled, I think these mutant beasts will be faster. When there is anti-gravity, it is troublesome to deploy. These technicians were anxious, broke the silence, and kept talking. The first batch of mutated humans did not have any resistance. It seems that the next mutated humans will be the same. In addition to injecting them with stimulants, they were also injected with some chronic poisons. Since this python cannot be killed from the outside, then the violent toxins should be able to cause him harm, right? If this doesn't work, throw anger between the 5th door and the 6th door. Tony gritted his teeth, his head swiftly spinning, not to mention, he really figured out a way. When he said this, his eyes lit up. As a biological research base, various strong biological toxins are stored here. There are even some toxins. As long as it is sniffed, it will be poisoned and killed in less than 0.1 seconds. Sure enough, it is Dr. Tony. This method is great. Quickly, inject neurotoxin into the mutant humans behind the 3rd door. Bang bang. This group of technicians are busy again. And at this moment in the second passage, Yi-Bei's battle has also completely ended. A strong smell of blood permeated the air. Those mutant monkeys stared wide-eyed. Wow. At the same time, behind the first gate, the Golden Lion, Wang Wan, Manhwa Ch, and the pleasure-seeking also followed. As for the other mutant beasts, they waited patiently outside. Well, those mutant humans have been cleaned up, but there are still some blood drops suspended in the air. But it doesn't matter. You will speed up the cracking of the 3rd door immediately. It is best not to delay too long. Chi. Dense blood is suspended in the channel. There are even some pieces of minced meat. But Yi-Bei didn't even look at this kind of thing. At this moment, he was entrenched at the 3rd door. The moment he rushed past, he directly swallowed more than 50 mutant humans, and his gene points and evolution points all reached the state of evolutionary full. But Yi-Bei suppressed it. Genetic evolution requires a period of deep sleep, but not now. Yes, King.
Yes.
The mutant monkeys did not dare to hesitate, and after seeing that all the mutant humans were killed, they quickly moved towards the 3rd door. At this time, Wang Wan, Golden Lion, and the others also came over, keeping their bodies in their smallest form. Wang, there are too many iron gates of this kind in this place. How many times can I open it to find the humans inside? Roar. The Golden Lion roared. When talking, his eyes bloomed with murderous intent, but now it looks quite cute. There are 10 doors in total, and 2 have been opened now. But the humans inside are not so easy to succumb. If it is correct, the humans from the outside world have all focused on us now. If you are not careful, you will suffer. When it comes to the devastating blow, the feeling of being attacked by the enemy, now we will either destroy this place as quickly as possible, or leave quickly. Chi. Yi-Bei spit out Shinzi in a cold voice. These words are extremely serious. Crackling. After listening to those mutant monkeys, the speed of tapping on the computer increased again. And now the 2nd floor of the Institute. Dr. Tony, if there is a way to decipher the meaning of this snake's words, that would be great. I always feel that this snake is the key. A technician seemed to discover the problem at this moment, and his lips turned blue, staring at Yi-Bei in the 3D projection while speaking. When Yi-Bei frantically swallowed the mutant humans just now, it really shocked them all. Cold eyes. Extreme speed. and the sharp and neat fangs in his mouth. The most terrifying thing is that its body is too hard. You must know that the mutant humans who have been injected with stimulants can tear even the steel plate, but they cannot leave any traces on the little black snake. Shut up, I know this too. Keep watching. What's the arrangement behind the third door? Tony growled. Doc, every mutant human has been injected with stimulants and neurotoxins, but this time we have some control. The toxins are injected in a small amount, but if you add up all the toxins injected by the mutant humans, you can definitely make any a creature is killed. A technician stood up, and when he said this, a look of expectation appeared in his eyes. If it can block the mutant beast group at the position of the third gate, then it will be developed. Very good. Now let's see if this monster can resist neurotoxins, Tony said. Seeing the expectation in the eyes of the technicians around him, his face was quite solemn, and his instinct told him that these mutant beasts were definitely not so easy to deal with, far beyond his imagination. Okay, I hope it succeeds. The technicians were talking. At the same time, in front of the third gate, after continuously devouring dozens of mutant humans, Yibei's mental power values all returned to their peak state. When the mutant monkeys cracked it, Yibei had already opened up the field of mental power. The fact that the mutant humans were injected with neurotoxin in the third channel naturally could not hide Yibei from him. System, can my current body withstand neurotoxins? Squinting eyes, Yibei asked seriously. After all, the mutant humans in the third passage are also full of allure to Yibei. Gene points and evolution points are things Yibei urgently needs. Of course. Host, anything in this system can swallow? Swallowing neurotoxins not only will not cause harm to the host, but it can increase the strength of the host's fangs and give future fangs the special effects of neurotoxins. The system answered decisively. Okay, this also works. After listening to it, Yibei's eyes lit up. Not only was he not worried, but he was even more looking forward to it. Wait later. If Tony sees that he has devoured the mutant human, the neurotoxin will not only have no problem, but will become stronger. I don't know what it will be like. Time passed quickly. Click. Within 2 minutes, Yibei heard a click. Wong. The crack was successful. With the previous 2 experiences, these doors can't stop us at all. A mutant monkey said excitedly. On the second floor of the research institute, Tony and others looked so ugly at this moment. When they first cracked these password doors, each one was harder than one. The cracking time is increasing. Now it's better. These mutant monkeys are straightforward. Strength in the face. Very good. Just tell me the password. You back, Wong 1, and the Golden Lion are you too. This time there are not only mutant humans in the channel, but they also carry severe neurotoxins, which may have an impact on you. Chi-Chi. After cracking the code, Yibei spit out a letter and immediately spoke. Wow. Wong 1, the Golden Lion, and the mutant monkeys retreated quickly. Happiness. In less than 10 seconds, Yibei entered the password. Squeak. Then, the third door opened. In the institute, Tony and the technicians all held their breath, praying in their hearts. Go and devour those mutant humans. Neurotoxin definitely has an effect. No creature can resist it. Just kill this black snake. Such voices kept appearing in my heart. It's just that today is obviously going to disappoint them. Creak. When the steel door opened, Yibei opened his mouth wide as before and rushed in without hesitation. Click, click, click. Ho ho ho. Gulyulu. It was a one-sided slaughter. The 260-meter passages were densely packed with mutant humans. When they met Yibei, they were like poor ants. In less than a minute, it was all be swallowed. Moreover, when all mutant humans injected with neurotoxin agents were swallowed, Yibei showed no signs of poisoning at all. Instead, the eyes became clearer. Seeing this, on the second floor of the institute, Tony's complexion was completely green. On the second floor, the technical department, there were constant knocks at the door. Tony's face turned green, and the technicians kept trembling, their faces pale, and they couldn't say a word. Doctor, what is going on? Dr. Tony, I heard that the mutant beasts have already attacked, Really want to blow up the first layer? Doctor, I suggest to report to it immediately. Only by mobilizing the power of the country can those monsters be eliminated. The yelling people outside were basically all the experts who had done research together before. Facing the threat of the mutant beasts, they couldn't calm down. They kept flapping the door and roaring again and again. Doctor, what should I do? After a while, a technician took the lead. The first time he didn't care about the people outside. He looked at Tony worriedly. The neurotoxin was ineffective. This made the hope that they had just raised instantly turned into despair. And with the cracking speed of those mutant monkeys, it takes up to 15 minutes to reach the first floor of the research institute. Continue to strengthen the neurotoxin and mix with other highly poisonous. Use all means to delay the monster's progress. Tony's teeth trembled. After leaving this sentence, he turned around and walked towards the technical department. Squeak. Open the door all at once. The noisy researchers outside, after seeing Tony, their bodies stiffened, maintaining the same excited appearance, but the scene became extremely quiet in an instant. The power of those mutant beasts is beyond my imagination, and they also have a very high IQ. Now they have cracked the 3 gates, and the first layer is full of bombs. This is the last one. Everyone, rest assured, we are 7th. The layer has a complete ecosystem. Even if it is completely covered by yellow sand, we can survive here for more than a year, and the state will definitely come to save us at that time. Tony said very seriously. Could it be that we can only sit and wait to die? Yes, the mutant beasts were all made by us. There must be a way to deal with them. Tony, you must know a lot of information. We need those materials to study for us. Even if we can't crack it, we can inform the humans outside. They must be able to think of a way. After a while, these people started talking. But Tony's complexion became more and more ugly. Shut up. No one is allowed to pass on what happened here. You don't know it all. Once you let them know what's happening here, all of us will die. No one has a chance to survive. As for this, you can know about the situation, but if you know, you must be with me, and you are absolutely not allowed to leave for half a step. Tony growled. The researchers were silent again. Intuition tells them that things have exceeded their expectations. According to the meaning of Tony's words, once humans know it, they will definitely suffer a devastating blow. I also want to know. And Many researchers have stepped forward, but many people backed away. The 7th floor of the ecological environment, I don't know what it is now. I have to go and take a look to make sure everyone has a way back. I also go to the 7th floor. If there are many people, it will be quick to analyze, and the 7th layer must be guaranteed. The researchers who backed off kept talking, trying to find reasons for their backlash. If you are willing to come, follow it. If you don't want to come, you can move freely in these 6 levels. Your existence is very important. I don't want you to have trouble. After Tony left this sentence, he turned around and returned to the technical department. Dozens of researchers followed behind him. And at the entrance of the passage, the speed of cracking is beyond imagination. The 4th door, the 5th door, the 7th door, the 9th door. When the 9th door was cracked, these mutant monkeys took only 10 seconds to figure out the code. However, after reaching the 10th gate, Yi-Bei stood in front, his expression cold. Wang, why did you stop? The golden lion opened his mouth and his voice was puzzled. The journey was very smooth just now. Those mutant humans are not able to withstand a single blow. I think there is something weird in it. The last door is definitely not easy. Chi-Chi. Wang Wen spit out the letter. His eyes narrowed slightly, and his eyes kept murderous. Although he said so, he wanted to rush into the research institute immediately and swallow all the humans inside. Wang, do we continue to crack? A mutant monkey saw Yi-Bei stand in front, and after hesitating for a few seconds, he asked in confusion. If a bomb uses the timer function, it only takes 10 seconds to open the 10th door, and it will explode completely. Do you have a solution in these 10 seconds? Chi-Chi. Yi-Bei spoke, his voice extremely cold. Bomb? Timing. Although these mutant monkeys are extremely smart and have a very high IQ after evolution, They can learn no matter what it is, and they also know the principle of bombs, but this is the first time they have heard of time bombs. Wong, if you give us 1 minute, we are confident to crack them all. But 10 seconds is too difficult. After a while, a mutant monkey said so. If it allows you to see the complete structure of these time bombs, including the wiring, how long will it take to complete? If you have one, it takes 1 minute. If there are too many, the first one will be used as experience, and the speed will be very fast later, about 1 to 3 seconds, you can know how to remove it. The mutant monkeys are very confident. It's just this kind of incomplete dialogue that makes Tony and the others in the research institute sound like a cloud. Those researchers, through the 3D projection, heard this sound, their eyes widened. These mutant monkeys can speak English? God, am I wrong? Are they trying to dismantle a bomb? Crack the principle of the time bomb in 1 minute, and then one in a second. These mutant monkeys, are you sure they are playing it? The researchers kept their mouths open and their voices kept constant. But those technicians are silent. When they cracked the entrance gates of the ancient civilization before, they didn't let the mutant monkeys slap their faces again and again. To some extent, the IQ of these mutant monkeys is indeed higher than that of humans, and it is also hundreds of times higher. In each of these people's facial expressions. Chi-Chi. The 10th door at the door, eBay spit out the letter and continued. After this door is opened, it only takes 10 seconds. There are all bombs inside. There are 200 in total, and they are directed antimatter bombs. Maybe it won't die, but this tunnel will definitely be completely blown up. It's too much trouble to find the research institute again, so I must dismantle all 200 bombs. What? This time, these mutant monkeys were shocked. 200 antimatter time bombs. When the 10th door is opened, it only takes 10 seconds. Will all the bombs explode upwards? Will all 200 bombs be cracked in 10 seconds? No matter how high the IQs of these mutant monkeys are, they were shocked after hearing what eBay said. Wong, if it is really 200 bombs, and the time is 10 seconds, even if we crack it, it may not be able to be removed. If you want to remove it, you must do it manually. A mutant monkey trembled. In the institute, Tony's eyes widened. 200 bombs, timing for 10 seconds. How can these guys know so well? Know our research well? Do they have other ways to obtain information? Tony couldn't help yelling. But those technicians had already been completely confused one by one, and no one answered him at all. You are responsible for cracking, finding a way to remove each bomb, and then telling me? As for how to disassemble the bomb, I have a way. Chi-Chi. eBay squinted his eyes and said coldly, Yes, King. The mutant monkeys said immediately that they trusted eBay 100%. Very good, let's get started. Who? When eBay spoke, he quietly entrenched at the door of the 10th door, and the huge field of mental power was released madly. It was just an instant that every detail of these bombs appeared in his mind. Under the domain ability, the circuit structure inside was very clearly presented in his mind. eBay. Immediately afterwards, eBay directly brought these mutant monkeys and Wong one into the field. Spiritual power sharing. The images that appeared in my mind also appeared in the minds of these mutant monkeys. It's incredible. Is this an antimatter bomb? Using antimatter collision to produce annihilation effect. Humans are really amazing, but the line structure is very simple. Unbelievable things. After going out, I will also make some bombs like this. Yeah, crack it. Crack it. After the picture appeared in the minds of these mutant monkeys, their bodies were stunned first, and then such a voice came out of their mouths. These words naturally reached Tony's ears at the Research Institute. Mutant monkeys want to make antimatter bombs? Oh shit. If it is really made, how can the dominant position of mankind be maintained? In his heart, there was a huge fear. The technicians nearby, as well as the researchers, also realized that the situation was getting worse. While the situation here is still going on, earth-shaking changes have taken place in the human world. Wow. Whizzing. At this moment, the whole world is in a state of preparation for war. In the end, the head of the Chinese nation voted to abstain, But when biologists from various countries assessed the changes in the Sahara Desert and predicted that it would have an irreversible impact on the human world soon, all countries could not sit still. So the United States proposed to implement the second plan. However, considering the agreement with Tony, the black president did not directly send a bomb to destroy half, but directly sent troops. Countless combat helicopters are flying in the open, densely packed. Countless tank regiments carrying a large amount of food and water are marching towards the Sahara Desert from all directions. Only this time the battle was just in the desert. Under the control of major countries in the world, no media are allowed to report. So for ordinary people, it's just that there is something wrong with the atmosphere recently. Other than that, life has not affected much. Quick, keep going. A group of meters asterisk people, within only 1 kilometer from the largest tree coverage, parachuted one after another, braved the scorching temperature, divided into several small teams, with powerful weapons in their hands, and then under the command of the captain, they marched forward imposingly with rumble. Hula-la. Some tanks were also airborne, and the huge wheels were able to travel unimpeded in the desert. Attention everyone, those plants in front are aggressive, but according to our biologists, they are afraid of flames. When the meeting goes up, don't waste bullets and use flames to threaten them as much as possible. In addition, these plants are damn it, and you are welcome. In a Russian team, everyone's body is like a polar bear. All the body is sweat. Living in the polar regions all year round. Suddenly came to the desert, they were very uncomfortable, but their fighting spirit remained undiminished. The Huaxia kingdom naturally dispatched the best soldiers. But their parachuting position is a bit awkward. When I jumped down, I happened to encounter a team exploring the desert. Wow! As a result, dozens of Huaxia asterisk people wearing camouflage uniforms and carrying submachine guns surrounded the expedition team at the fastest speed. One of the team leaders screamed at them with red face and red ears, "Gentlemen, ladies, this is a major military site. We have received orders from our superiors that any unrelated personnel are forbidden to step in half a step. Anyone who disobeys will not be forgiven." However, the members of the expedition are all foreigners. I can't understand the words of the captain of the Huaxia country. Water, 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 oasis. We want water. Looking at the asterisk plants in the distance, they looked enthusiastic. Although they looked miserable, they kept making such voices. Even ignore the Huaxia asterisk people who surrounded them. Da-da-da. Therefore, there is no doubt that this group of Huaxia asterisk people who have fully implemented the orders of their superiors, the next moment, unceremoniously fired the first shot of the battle, and the fierce gunshots reverberated in the desert. The gunshots directly ignited the blood of these soldiers. The speed of advancement of teams from various countries continues to increase. At the same time, the entrance of the institute in front of the 10th gate. Wong, we have found a solution. These antimatter bombs are basically the same, but when they are set up, each bomb requires a different cracking scheme. Well, I can understand everything. Only 20 seconds have passed. With the help of the mental power domain, these mutant monkeys have completely cracked the structure of the antimatter bomb and the way to crack it. While speaking, the location of each antimatter bomb and the way it was unlocked all appeared in Yibei's mind. 1 second, 2 seconds, 5 seconds. It only took Yibei 5 seconds to remember all of these deeply, and he would never go wrong. Very well, then, give me the password for the 10th gate. Besides, you guys should step back a bit more. Chi-chi. Yibei spit out the letter. Bang bang. When he saw everyone backing up, he quickly typed the password. Creak. At the moment when the 10th door opened, under the gaze of those in the research institute, Yibei's body disappeared. His ability and bullet time opened instantly. The retreating golden lion, Wong Wan, and mutant monkeys are also stunned. Bullet time. Exerting one's own speed to the extreme, causing all the moving objects around to reach a certain degree of stillness. It was the first time Yibei had used it since acquiring this ability. But this feeling is very mysterious. At the moment it opened, Yibei felt that everything around him was still. In front, there is a hall. All the important things are evacuated and appear empty. However, on the ground, there are antimatter time bombs everywhere, and the timer on it shows bright red numbers. But at this moment, these numbers all freeze frames on 10, not moving at all. There were also countless dust in the air in the hall. Originally, these dust should be floating for no reason, but now it is also in a refined look. Behind him, a golden hair fell from the golden lion's body, but that hair just suspended in the air quietly without moving. Moreover, the expressions of the golden lion, Wang Wan, and the mutant monkeys were all in an absolutely static state. As for him, Yi Bei. Under this circumstance, the speed of the body has not slowed down at all, but it seems that as long as he is willing, he can explode with terrifying speed. Even the speed will exceed the limit of the body. Is this bullet time? It's an incredible ability. With this ability, even if there is no death forest, it is difficult for humans to hurt me, unless it is a large-scale destructive weapon, even if I turn on bullet time. Get out of that range. Chi. Yi Bei spit out the letter. The next second, all the muscles in his body exploded with terrifying power. The bullet time is combined with the speed of the body itself. In just 1 second, Yi Bei had successfully dismantled 50 antimatter bombs. Bullet time can be used 3 times a day. At this moment, Yi Bei could not think stingy. 3 opportunities, all used at the same time. But as Yi Bei quickly dismantled the bomb, Tony, the technicians, and researchers, their mental activities became more intense than ever, and their expressions were shocked to the extreme. Yi Bei's speed is too fast. After the bullet time is turned on, he seems to have disappeared from the place. However, in the 3D projection in front of me, in the next moment, a large number of antimatter bombs can be clearly seen flying, and then they are easily disassembled. Why? What's the matter? Why are those antimatter bombs flying? Is it the same second? In the technical department, this kind of voice is constantly popping up in all human minds. But at the passage, Wang, is it gone? The golden lion's eyes widened, and his mouth roared. No, it should be too fast. Our eyes can't catch the king's speed at all. Chi. Wang Wen spit out Shinzi, his eyes widened, as if he wanted to use his best to see Yi Bei's current situation. Is it really possible to dismantle all the antimatter bombs in 10 seconds? It's the mutant monkeys. All of them have a dull expression. It feels incredible. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Their minds and bodies can finally react a little, but Yi Bei still can't be seen in their eyes. Only dense antimatter bombs flying, even suspended in the hall on the first floor. 5 seconds. 155 antimatter bombs have been dismantled. Wow. On the floor of the hall, there were fragments scattered when the bomb was dismantled everywhere, but Yi Bei's figure was still invisible. After 6 seconds, Chi. The whole hall seemed to set off a terrible storm. 200 antimatter time bombs have all been dismantled. Call. At this time, Yi Bei's body finally appeared in everyone's sight, right next to the last bomb that was dismantled. He took a deep breath. Use bullet time 3 times in a row. The speed that was so extreme that all the moving objects around him were at rest, making Yi Bei feel an unprecedented experience, as if everything around him was under his control during the bullet time. Chi. The scarlet letter spit out. Well, all bombs have been dismantled. You can come in? The voice was cold, with absolute confidence. 6 seconds, 200 time bombs. Wang actually did it? The mutant monkey who heard Yi Bei's voice was stunned in the passage, unable to recover for a long time, muttering to himself. What happened just now? I can only see that all the things in the front hall have been lifted, and I can't see the king's figure at all. It seems to have suddenly disappeared and suddenly appeared again. All the hairs on the golden lion's body were erected. With the recent continuous devouring and evolution, the strength of the body was hundreds of times higher than that at the beginning. He always felt that his strength was getting closer and closer to Yi Bei. But now the golden lion only feels that his strength is constantly expanding, and his heart has become more determined at this moment. It must become stronger and swallow more creatures, so as to have enough qualifications to follow Yi Bei. As for Manhwa Ch, he was still in a daze at the moment, and he didn't understand what was going on. But on the second floor of the research institute, Tony and others trembled frantically. Play back the video recorded in just 6 seconds. The speed is 100 times slower. Tony was the first to react, staring blankly at the 200 disassembled Ling doodles in the 3D projection. His mouth suddenly groaned, telling him instinctively that something terrible must have happened in the 6-second time. Yes, Dr. Tony. Bang bang. A technician regained his senses, tapping his fingers quickly. Screen playback. The camera inside was slowed down 100 times. However, Yi-Bei still could not be seen. Slow down 1,000 times. Yes, doctor. No. Slow down 10,000 times. It is good. Still none. How is this possible? At 10,000 times the speed, he still can't catch him? Could it be that those bombs were automatically dismantled? Tony was completely shocked, feeling that the knowledge he had learned seemed extremely ridiculous at this moment. Doctor, there is another possibility. That little black snake is moving too fast. Our camera can't capture him at all. After all, the camera is far away from one frame after another. His speed is faster than this frame. Number. A technician's eyes widened, feeling incredible. The biggest slowdown of this 3D projection is 10,000 times. If none of this can be captured, there is only one possibility. The speed of the little black snake surpasses him. Hiss. Thinking of this, hundreds of people in the entire technical department began to in air conditioning. But, at this moment, an extremely abrupt voice suddenly resounded beside these humans' ears. Tony, I have seen you. The voice is cold, without any emotion. The moment this voice sounded, the expressions of these people in the research institute quickly distorted. Tony, I have seen you. Chi-Chi. Yi-Bei sneered and spit out the letter. The body was entrenched in the hall on the first floor, and his eyes were extremely cold. Next to me, I followed the golden lion, Manhwa Ch, having fun. As for the mutant monkeys, after entering the hall, their attention was all on the fragments of the antimatter bomb dismantling. They looked hot one by one, and they studied frantically. Seeing this, it seemed that they really wanted to make bomb out. But in the second layer, Tony, technicians, researchers, one by one, as if being hit by thunder, his body was directly stiff. Because the cold voice just now was not transmitted through the machine, but the truth rang in their ears. Who is talking? Who made the sound just now? Which bastard? It took 3 full seconds for these humans to react, and then yelled frantically. Intuition told them that it was the little black snake who had just spoken, but reason made them unable to believe it. Tony and everyone, I'm right in the 3D projection in front of your eyes. It's the little black snake you see. I am also the king of the entire mutant beast group. It's a pity that the methods you used to stop me are against me. No effect. And I also know that you are in the second layer. Now I give you 2 choices, either die all or do something for me later. Chi-Chi. Yi-Bei spit out the letter, and at the same time the mental power domain was opened. The entire underground research institute was under his control, and the cold voice resounded in the ears of those human beings again. Snake? Really, this little black snake? Impossible. How could this snake speak? Why couldn't I hear him before? Are you really talking? In the technical department, everyone stared wide-eyed. Looking at Yi-Bei in the 3D projection in front, their lips trembled. However, just as they were shocked and fearful, and they were constantly improving, one of the technicians mobilized the scene on the surface of the Sahara Desert, and then, with a desperate look on his face, at this moment, his face finally showed a touch of hope. Dr. Tony, I found a lot of troops. Helicopters, tanks. The state is dispatched, and now the Sahara is completely surrounded by troops. They are preparing to approach the big tree. The technician who was speaking had a touch of excitement in his tone. In his opinion, as long as the army appeared, there must be a rescue. Hearing this, there was even a technician who was depressed for too long and roared directly at the 3D screen. Black snake, monster. You are finished? Haha. Did you hear that? Our human army has already appeared? Do you really think you are great? In front of the army, you only have to be slaughtered. Now surrender, and then hurry up. I can consider not making you a snakeskin insole. Don't mention the arrogant tone. Correct. Kill us if there is a species. In that case, you don't even want to live a mutant beast. Haha, the army is finally here. You are dead. Such voices naturally reached Yibei's ears. These words were basically the technicians. As for Tony and the researchers, they were silent and their faces turned green. The army is here. Is this really a good thing? The power of mutant beasts, asterisk the power displayed by plants. Once those armies are invincible, the final result can be imagined. At that time, maybe everyone will not die in the mouths of mutant beasts, but with similar weapons. Yibei didn't care much about the human changes in the research institute. When he appeared on the first floor, these humans were already destined to be in Yibei's pocket. So immediately, Yibei just continued to expand the field of mental power. A second later, all the 30 kilometers in the radius appeared in Yibei's mind. The same is true in the desert. Institute entrance. Tens of thousands of mutant beasts lie on the golden sand. Above them, dense trees and leaves block the hot sunlight. The air is transformed by the trees, revealing a hint of coolness, and it looks very leisurely. For the coming army, nothing has been noticed for the time being. And outside the asterisk tree coverage, wow, booming. Yibei found a large number of tanks, soldiers wearing camouflage uniforms, and even helicopters. The total number of soldiers is definitely more than 100,000. And the soldiers sent this time have cold eyes in every eye. Killing intent, walking on the road with great power, under the harsh environment of the scorching sun and desert, carrying submachine guns and rockets, the pace is not reduced. Chi. It seems that those human beings really can't sit still. This day will come sooner or later. It is better to take advantage of today to teach the human beings around the world a lesson. They have been at the pinnacle for too long. How long will the starry sky snake appear, not only without noticing it, but constantly increasing internal friction? Yibei muttered to himself. While the sound fell, the spiritual power domain instantly enveloped all the mutant beasts in the desert. Listen, besides the asterisk plants, a large number of humans have now gathered, and they carry various weapons. Once you are exposed, they are likely to attack. Goal. Next, you are free to move, and finally remember to gather around here. Wow. Yibei's voice resounded directly in the minds of all mutant beasts. The sound fell, and the tens of thousands of mutant beasts that had been lying on the ground stared, and the next moment they stood up quickly.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Ho ho ho. Whoa. The sounds of various beasts sounded, and the originally quiet atmosphere immediately became lively. After finishing the orders to the mutant beasts, Yibei directly concentrated his mental energy and began to communicate with the big tree. These humans do not have much effect on you. You can use the deep water sources below to grow, so once you fight if it does, it's okay to kill those humans, but they can't be completely absorbed. They belong to our mutant beasts. Wow. Asterisk the tree cannot speak. However, after Yibei's order was given, the 1,000-meter-high tree, the tree poles and the huge leaves shook violently in a windless state, clashed, which was regarded as a response to Yibei. At the same moment, the first group of soldiers with their weapons officially collided with asterisk Dashu. In the Sahara Desert, the smell of war continues to spread. Simpu is an old American soldier. Having served for more than 10 years, he is now an officer of an elite force. Just 2 hours ago, he received the SSSS-level emergency mission from above. It is no exaggeration to say that this is the first time a 5S-level mission has appeared in the past 10 years. Moreover, a few years ago, he received the highest level task, that is, the SSS level. That day, the most rampant Uncle Lamp in the world declared dead. The mission of the SSSS level is to transport us to this desert. What's the matter? However, it is really incredible to say that there is such a big oasis in the desert. Next to him, a young soldier said in confusion, There must be a reason for posting this level of mission above. It is likely to be related to the mutant beasts reported by the media before. Anyway, everyone should be careful. Speaking of 5S level missions, I am also performing it for the first time. There is a feeling of enthusiasm, but I don't know why. I always feel something is wrong. Simp glanced at the young soldier with sophisticated eyes and a hoarse and low voice when he spoke. Oh, Captain, something is wrong? Isn't the captain afraid? You know, when training us before, the captain personally said that even if the country asks us to die, we must unswervingly execute it. And in this world, just there is no one, no force that can resist the US military. Such a young American soldier, with a look that a newborn calf is not afraid of tigers, said imposingly. Asshole, who said I was scared? Simp growled. Go ahead, let me keep going. Our first task is to destroy all the plants in front of them and find some beasts hiding inside. Simp growled again, and when his voice fell, he took the initiative to rush forward. Wow! A large number of American soldiers followed. 100 meters, 50 meters, 10 meters. As the leading team, soon, Simpu and the others were less than 10 meters away from the area covered by the mutant plants. Wow! Just keeping this distance, everyone stopped. Their feet stepped on the golden sand, making a clattering sound. It was too far away to see clearly, just that the plants in front of them were huge. And within 10 meters, the effect is completely different. The huge leaves have distinct red meridian lines, as if they are like human meridians, with blood flowing in them. Linked to the leaves are green vines with thick wrists. The tree vines are twisty and look very flexible. Moreover, the air near the plant has become a lot colder. Oh, you guys, this tree is too big. A leaf is at least a few meters wide. What about the main pole? You can't see it at all. Also, these tree vines and poles are all green. God, what are you kidding? These trees move by themselves. Have you seen it? There is no wind at all. I see these leaves are moving. Are the red lines inside blood? The US soldiers following Simp stopped and said one by one in shock. It was Simp who remained calm at this moment. His voice was loud. Calm down, everyone. Before I came here, I had obtained information that these plants move. They are alive and aggressive, but according to Analyzed, these plants are afraid of fire. Everyone will light a torch for me and destroy all the plants that stand in front of them. Remember, treat them as enemies, although the non-my race will be punishable. The last sentence was learned on the battlefield from a soldier of the Chinese nation, and I felt very domineering, so Simpu used it unconsciously at this moment.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, Captain. The soldiers behind had a loud voice. Before coming here, in addition to their weapons, each of them was equipped with several torches. However, this torch is a high-tech product, just like a reduced version of the Olympic torch, and after the military has improved it, the flame inside can even burn more than one to disappear. Wow! Although these American soldiers were shocked by the big tree in front of them, they ignited the torch at the fastest speed, and then waited for Simpu's next order. Everyone get ready. Get ready, 1, 2, 3. Move forward together. Simp shouted after seeing everyone getting ready. Wow! The flame is burning. These soldiers mustered the courage to completely burn down the living tree and slaughter all the wild animals as the goal, and move forward quickly. 5 meters. 1 meter. However, the moment they entered the coverage of living plants, an accident happened. The leaves that were originally shaking gently, and the vines twisted together, seemed to have wisdom in an instant. Wow! Hula la! The leaves collided with each other, and the dense sound reverberated. Trees and vines gush out wildly. Flexibility is beyond imagination. Hurry up, attack! Seeing a large number of trees and vines attacking the team, he led like countless tentacles. Simp yelled loudly. As a soldier with a long battlefield, his reaction speed is indeed very good. There is no complete panic. Burn them with flames. However, only Simpu can remain a little calm. A soldier following him, after the tree vines surging wildly, directly subverted his common sense and logic. After hearing Simpu's order, his mouth the inside roared, The torch in his hand was constantly waving everywhere. Whoosh! However, the waving process takes less than a second. A tree vine suddenly wrapped around his wrist, and in the blink of an eye, he swept away his torch, and then another tree roots and vines struck him, giving the soldier no chance to react. Easily entangle his legs and hands, unable to move a bit. Damn it, the intelligence is wrong. The above just said that these plants are alive and aggressive, but now, is this called aggressive? Their level of flexibility is beyond imagination. Wow, another soldier was entangled. Don't be afraid, burn them with flames. Be careful, don't let the torches be taken away. In a blink of an eye, several players were entangled in the vines, and Simpu's complexion instantly turned green when he saw it. You must know that this has just entered a position less than 1 meter away from the living plant cover. According to the information from the above, the entire living plant coverage area is several square kilometers. It was like this at the beginning. However, the moment his roar fell again, he felt that his wrist suddenly tightened, and a huge force suddenly appeared on his wrist. SW, I saw a green vine. I don't know what. Time to wrap around. At this moment, there was a great fear in my heart. How is this possible? Simp growled. The wrist was entangled, and what was even more weird was that from the tree vine, it seemed that there was a very weird power, constantly absorbing his energy. After being entangled for less than a second, Simpu felt like a whole person. It's normal. Wow. However, as an old soldier, he instinctively told him that if he did not resist at this time, he would be dead. The other hand worked hard to grasp the torch. I tried my best to burn towards the tree and vine. Zzz. However, the next situation made Simp completely dumbfounded. Zzz. The green vines were sizzling under the fierce flame, and even his Simp's arm was burned by the flame. But this kind of flame only caused some water stains on the surface of the green tree and vine. There is no effect of letting it go away. The flame is actually ineffective against this living plant? At the last moment, Simp let out an unwilling roar. And the players that I brought have all been captured by the tree vines, bound their hands and feet, and finally the tree vines contracted and entangled their bodies, only revealing a head outside. At this moment, the consciousness is extremely refreshing, but the power was emptied, and he didn't even have the strength to speak, and there was endless fear and despair in his eyes. Especially Simp. When fighting before, at least it can be thrilling. Constantly using bullets to fight the enemy at every turn. But today, too weak. My own team has no way of resisting it, and it is all entangled. This is a kind of humiliation, and it is a great humiliation for his status as a US soldier. But when Simpu's despair reached its peak, he was hung on a vine and rose to an altitude of nearly 100 meters. In his pale eyes, he saw a small team, which gave him a glimmer of hope of alive. Far away. It's about 500 meters away. Baga, why are we selected this time? It's really to perform the task in such a harsh environment. A man with a mustache on his mouth, a green military cap, and a samurai sword slung around his waist, wiping the sweat from his head and cursing angrily in his mouth. Yokoyama-san. This time the mission is not just people from our country. It is said that there are a lot of other countries. A total of 88 countries are united. However, I am very curious to deal with some beasts and plants. Is it necessary to make such a big move? Next to him, a relatively young man was talking. His eyes were full of wretchedness, and he was not a good person at first glance. Who knows about them? Such a small matter must make such a big move. Anyway, let's move on. When I go back this time, I will immediately step down. Hey, Yokoyama-kun, you must calm down. Your family is a big family in the island country. As long as you complete this mission, you will definitely be promoted to a higher position when you return. You can take care of us at that time. Continue to say. Of course, we are all comrades in arms with a firm friendship. Speaking of the big family, higher positions, the 8 character who, the man known as Yokoyama-kun, has a glimmer of expectation. However, this expectation did not last long. An island soldier walking slightly ahead, holding a telescope in his hand, suddenly stopped. But Gaia Road, what's the matter? I asked you to stop, hurry up, and continue walking. When Yokoyama saw this, he roared angrily, stepped forward with a kick, and kicked the soldier with the telescope. Wow! The soldier fell on the desert and rolled a few times. It made the soldiers of the other island nations burst into laughter. Only when the soldier stood up, he didn't dare to hesitate at all, with great fear in his eyes. Mr. Yokoyama, no, it's not good. There is an abnormality ahead. I found out that above the tree vines, unexpectedly grew humans. He stammered a bit. His eyes were wide, bloodshot inside. His mouth was wide open, and his mouth was full of sand. Are you stupid? Can people grow on trees? Boom. Yokoyama-kun was not at all polite. Hearing this, he rushed up again with a kick. Wow. At the same time, he even snatched the telescope from the soldier's hand. Although he was swearing like this, he still held the telescope and looked forward curiously. Okay, this doesn't matter. After seeing the situation clearly, his body stunned suddenly, and then he trembled on the spot. Mr. Yokoyama? Yokoyama-san, did you find anything? What's the matter, Yokoyama-san? The team members next to him soon discovered that something was wrong with Hangshan and asked them one by one. Goryulu. While Yokoyama-kun was shaking in his throat, he couldn't help swallowing fiercely. The scene seen in the telescope was really shocking. The green tree vines were rolled into cocoons, and then one of the tree vines hung the cocoons. Just above the cocoons, there were people's heads hanging. Through the telescope, Mr. Hangshan even saw those above the head. The eyes are always open. This scene is somewhat familiar. It appeared on the famous anime Naruto sacred tree on the island. But that's just anime. What I saw with my own eyes was far more terrifying and weird than above the sacred tree. Baga, how is this possible? What is going on? 10 seconds passed before Yokoyama-kun came back to his senses and yelled. Then, he didn't give any explanation to the players at all and shouted again. Take out the submachine gun for me and prepare for the battle. Go ahead, listen to my command, and be ready to shoot at any time. Yes, Yokoyama-san.
Yes. Yes.
When the team members heard the order, they saluted immediately and took out their submachine guns. Help us. Islanders, save us. We are American soldiers. Simp, who was hung on the tree, confirmed that the islander was in front of him. His throat surged, and he kept trying to make a sound. But when he used the strength of feeding, the sound he made was no more than the size of a mosquito. What's more terrifying is, when he wanted to ask for help, the hint of hope that had just appeared turned into endless despair in the blink of an eye. In sight, he had a clear consciousness and clearly saw the island soldiers, suddenly picked up the submachine gun, and the position of the muzzle was facing his head and the heads of his team members. Chi. The eyes were very wide. The heartbeat speeds up wildly. Die. This time it's dead. Knowing that he will die next, every second is an unprecedented torture. But the end result is not being entangled to death by trees and vines, but being killed by humans or people from the island country. This kind of humiliation is definitely a shame to Simpu and these American soldiers. Shame. Bang, bang, bang. The next moment, the tragic gunfire was mastered in the Sahara Desert. Hoo. In the Sahara Desert, because of the appearance of living trees, hot and cold air alternated, and there was a rare gust of wind. Armies of 88 countries surrounded from all sides of the desert. A circular enclosing circle is formed. Although fire has already started in some places, people in other armies have not noticed anything. Baga, fire, keep firing. Kill those monsters. I found them. Kill them. Go tens of meters. Hangshan stopped suddenly, stretched out his hand, raised it slightly, pointed forward, and roared loudly. Those island troops who took out their submachine guns did not hesitate. Da. One by one, he pulled the trigger along where Yokoyama-kun pointed. Although the bullet is not targeted, and the bullets shot out were scattered. However, when dozens of island soldiers fired at the same time, the densely packed bullets still contained many bullets, which hit the American soldiers hanging on the vines. Simpu's eyes widened. Whoosh! A bullet hit him in the head impartially, making a sneer. There was a sharp pain, but the pain disappeared in an instant. Instead, his mind was blank and he completely lost consciousness. But even if he lost consciousness, his eyes kept widening. This fact was totally unacceptable for him. And those American soldiers who followed Simpu, without any exception, all were killed by these Japanese. Research Institute, first floor. Yi-Bei is still entrenched in the middle of the hall. Mutant monkeys. The research on those antimatter bombs is almost done. After only a few minutes, they have figured out how to stay away. With their current IQ, as long as they are given enough equipment, they can easily replicate countless the antimatter bomb came out. These humans are really interesting, but their strength makes me a little disappointed. I thought it was how much I could fight against a living tree, but I just met, and I was defeated. Even more, my own people appeared. The phenomenon of killing oneself? Chi-Chi. Yi-Bei spit out the letter, in a very small voice. Wong, the antimatter bombs here have been studied almost, but I haven't seen any humans. Although we have understood the principles of construction, if there are humans, that would be fine. We have some questions to ask them. A mutant monkey ran to Yi-Bei excitedly. He didn't know the situation outside. Now he was full of bombs, knowledge, and a lot of knowledge that he had just learned. After listening to the voice of the mutant monkey, Yi-Bei took back the mental power domain. From the current situation, the ability of the living tree to multiply is so strong that it can't be burned even by flames. If humans don't need to use large-scale destructive weapons, given them a month, they may not be able to beat this tree that can continue to grow and expand. Don't worry, what you have is an opportunity. The entire mutant beast group, whoever possesses wisdom, must learn. It is not enough to have enough strength. Wisdom is also the key to becoming the top of the food chain. Chi-Chi. Yi-Bei spit out the letter. ZZ. After the sound fell, the body that was originally entrenched in the hall on the first floor began to move, making a screaming sound. Yi-Bei only moved a little, but in the second layer, Tony and others, their hearts were mentioned in their throats. Those technicians are still yelling. Monster, what do you want to do? You are dead. Hurry up and get out and save your subordinates. Aren't you their king? Do you want to watch them be killed by the human army? Is it good for you to pester us? As long as you dare to come over, we can guarantee that the entire research institute will be completely destroyed. By then, we will not die. While yelling, many technicians even threatened Yi-Bei. Tony and the researchers remained silent, unable to speak at all. Especially at this moment, Tony is deeply aware of what terrible potions Thomas had made when he was on the experimental island, and how much things he knew in this research institute would bring. Influence. According to this development, maybe the human overlord will face unprecedented threats in the future, and the civilization of beast gods will fully recover. ZZ. Listening to the voice inside, Yi-Bei didn't have any worries at all. These human threats are ridiculous to Yi-Bei. Golden Lion, Wong Won, and you, follow me, now go to the second floor. Chi-Chi. When Yi-Bei moved, a scarlet letter was spit out in his mouth. The passage from the first floor to the second floor was very hidden, but in the field of spiritual power, there was no secret at all. In less than 10 seconds, Yi-Bei stopped again. At this moment, everyone on the second floor burst their eyes, because the location where Yi-Bei stopped was the entrance to the second floor. Escape, run away, go to the 7th floor, and then destroy all the ones in front. You must not let it in. Standing next to Tony, a researcher's eyes were full of fear, and these voices were almost uncontrolled. Yes, destroy the 2nd floor. There is only this way fast. Wow. In an instant, the technical department hall on the 2nd floor was messed up. But at this moment Tony stood on the spot, his eyes fixed on the 3D projection. His body did not move at all. Not long ago, he was full of confidence, and even shot the experimental island and the mercenary base directly. And just a few hours ago, he was full of confidence, planning how to obtain the genes of the mutant beasts in the Atlantic Ocean to facilitate his own research. How could this kind of thing happen? Could it be that everything is finished like this? Impossible. Standing still, Tony didn't move at all, but the voice in his mouth was constant. Go back. Asshole. They are here. Kill them. Damn it. Wow. Originally, the researchers and technicians who wanted to escape, after running a certain distance towards the outside, stopped one after another and turned back towards, because in front of them, there was a small one more than 1 meter long. The black snake, with the mutant monkey and 9 mutant pythons, were slowly moving over. Under the effect of the transformation, their body is not big, but the dangerous aura exuding on their bodies is extremely strong. Chi-Chi. Yibei ignored most of the people. When he moved, he kept looking at Tony, who was stunned in the hall. This is the first time to meet in a sense. Tony, let's talk about it. A cold voice came from Yibei's mouth. Zzz. Wang Wan, Chunhua Qyu, looking for joy and joy. His body constantly twisted, making a sizzling noise when rubbing against the ground. Although the golden lion is not big at the moment, when he sees a human being in front of him, all the golden hairs on his body are erected. On his 4 feet, the sharp claws rise even more quickly under the light of silver-white light, reflecting cold light. Roar. As he walked, he opened his mouth and let out a low growl. The neat and white teeth in the mouth are extremely terrifying. Behind them are dozens of mutant monkeys. They have become the size of a thumb monkey again. After coming to the second floor, there are too many advanced instruments here. The attention is not focused on humans, but constantly. Observing the surrounding situation, seeing that I was interested, I rushed up even more rudely. On the surface, it looks very cute and clever, but the appearance of the giant size of more than 3 meters before can linger in the minds of many people. They know very well that even these mutant monkeys are extremely scary. Power. Tony, let's talk. Zzz. Yibei's speed is not fast. Wow. As he moved forward, the people who stood in front, at the fastest speed, smashed away to open a passage. 10 meters. 5 meters. 1 meter. This stopped when Yibei moved to a position only 1 meter away from Tony. Half of the body formed a round shape and lay on the ground. The other half of the body was all erected. The dark pupils and the scarlet letters continued to be spit out from the mouth. The voice resounded throughout the hall, even though the size is pitiful now, but not anyone dare to look down upon him. Call. Tony, who had been in a daze, suddenly recovered when he heard this. He took a deep breath, trying to maintain a calm state. You didn't swallow us directly? Is it because we have other uses? Tony said, these words are a little bit strong, but when they were speaking, Tony didn't dare to look at Yibei's eyes, and even the body trembled very badly. The fear of transcending logic and cognition brought him too great a blow. Even at this moment, Tony's heart has already had regrets. If this day had been known long ago, it would be nice to have the Black President of the United States fire devastating weapons before. Just when Tony said this, other people who were desperately desperate had some hope in their eyes. Wong, these humans are all damned. Kill them. Yes, they have been experimenting with beasts, continuously injecting medicine, dissecting, cutting off limbs, grafting other biological limbs, and even not letting go. These humans, each one deserves to die, far worse than our beasts. Yeah, they it. Yibei didn't speak, but Wang went following behind. Jean Lion and the others screamed angrily. When they were on the experimental island before, they were all treated as guinea pigs. These humans wearing white research uniforms in front of them probably aroused their inner anger. When they said these words, the murderous intent on their bodies spread wildly. Ho ho ho. Chi 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 chi. The entire second-floor hall was occupied by their voices. When those humans heard it, their expressions were pale with fright. Roar. To shut up. But at this time, Yibei suddenly opened his mouth and growled. Wow. The moment the sound fell, Wang Wan, the golden lion and the others squatted on the ground, their bodies trembling, and the hall instantly became quiet. Yibei could understand the thoughts of these mutant beasts. But now, Yibei is more aware of what he is going to do. 3 years later, The Earth will bring about tremendous changes without human beings noticing it. But eBay can't sit still and evolve, and at the same time let his overall strength continue to increase. Technology must be learned. Perhaps Tony. From now on, this research institute will be taken over by me. As for you, I am responsible for teaching all the knowledge of these mutant monkeys, including the normal use of all the instruments here. Huh. eBay set his eyes on these humans again, and his cold eyes swept over them one by one. Chi-Chi. A scarlet letter came out of his mouth, and his voice was beyond doubt. Fear belongs to fear, but thinking of teaching the terrible group of mutant monkeys, a technician is not so good. Impossible, even if they die. I won't teach them, that kind of disgusting monster. The technician almost broke down and shouted loudly. Shit. However, his voice just fell. eBay, who was originally very small, suddenly enlarged his body and opened his mouth. When his head appeared in front of the technician, the diameter had already reached more than 2 meters. Golyulu. Without the slightest hesitation, he opened his mouth and swallowed the technician in, grunting. Immediately afterwards, the body returned to its original state. But the bright red blood stains in the lobby on the second floor are enough to prove that what happened just now is extremely real. Okay, terrible. The man next to the technician who had been swallowed just now stared, and it took a long time to suffocate these words. Part of the body grows larger and then returns to its original state after being swallowed. This is too against the principle of biological evolution. A researcher with gold wire glasses, who looks quite knowledgeable and gray-haired, has fear in his eyes, but at the same time, his eyes are more shocked and curious. No, don't eat me. As long as you don't eat me, let me do anything. I teach. I teach too. Plop, plop, plop. As for the vast majority of humans, after seeing eBay disagree and swallow a person casually, their courage was instantly frightened. Their legs softened. They thumped and thumped to the ground. Such a scene made Wang, the golden lion, and the others, who were crawling behind eBay, full of disdain. When they were used as experimental subjects, they had seen too many scenes of beasts being killed, begging, cry, desperate eyes. His limbs were sawn off. Tears overflowed from the corners of his eyes, but his mouth was firmly clamped. Without any anesthetic, fix the limbs and dissect the belly a little bit. Too much, too much. Humanity. Although eBay is terrible now, it is not worth mentioning compared to what humans have done. However, eBay has only just begun. Most humans knelt on the ground and succumbed. This is the reason why Wang, the golden lion, and the others disdain. In their opinion, human beings are unscrupulous when they gain power, and they immediately compromise and kneel when threatened. Down, far worse than the beasts. Very good. What about you, Tony? Just devouring one person? It frightened most of them, which made eBay quite satisfied. But eBay knew even more that Tony was the most important thing in this research institute. He definitely knew a lot of information, and he wanted to be faster. Tony's evolution requires Tony to produce medicines in batches.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.